Danger, love at work.
Oh my god.
So this is our first Balderdash movie. It's called Danger, Love at Work.
So we should explain the series.
Yes.
Yeah, how it's working. So we got a game of Balderdash. If you play Balderdash, you know one of the it's a bluffing game where you draw these cards and they have like words, and the game is you make up you get one category is that there's a movie and you get a movie title. And so these are all filled with just very obscure movies, and we've always thought, wouldn't it be cool if we watched one?
Yeah, so the objective of the game is people hear the movie title and they try to write a synopsis that sounds believable enough to fool everybody else. And the synopsis here did not sound that intriguing, but the movie turned out to be pretty great. Well, I mean, in terms of the surprise factor, I don't know. Yeah. I was surprised.
I was floored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. The liar falls in love with the daughter of an eccentric family he's trying to work with. Hence, Danger, Love at Work. It's by the director Otto Preminger. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but he's most famous for a film called Anatomy of a Murder, and he also did Laura, and I haven't seen either of these two, so this is my first exposure to Otto Preminger's work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so I'm gonna give so this is a screwball comedy. Mark has not seen a screwball comedy ever before. I've seen two, and they were all really acclaimed movies. One of them is His Girl Friday. Everyone loves His Girl Friday. I thought it was good. And then the other one is Arsenic and Old Lace, which I actually found to be really hilarious. But with both of those movies, I ran into a problem. I gave them pretty high ratings because I did admire the script and how far it went, especially Arsenic and Old Lace, if you've seen that. But one of the problems I ran into was I got so fatigued by the speed, the rapid-fire humor. And with this film, it did not hit me as much, the fatigue.
Interesting.
It continuously... Okay, Mark.
Okay.
You gotta go.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah, like, my expectations, because of your hesitation, were like... Because up to watching this, you were like, oh my god, screwball comedy.
It's mostly because of the rating.
Yeah, the rating's like 3.2.
It's like a 3.2 or a 3.3 on Letterboxd.
We had the impression this was just some throwaway film. Well, I mean, who knows if it really is, but like we had the impression this was just not going to be enjoyable to watch. But like I really had a time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a star rating.
I have no idea.
Really?
Again, this is a genre I just don't know anything about.
Okay.
I feel like.
Okay.
So I mean, it's hard to rate it in comparison to everything else I've seen. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's not a 5-star film by any means.
Whoa, the fact that you say that.
Well, I mean, I only reserve 5-star ratings for like films I think are like truly special. That's not the case here, but I still really enjoyed the film.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
so interesting.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking of a high 3.5 to low 4.
Okay.
Yeah, mostly because it did. I can think of like a handful of other movies that do it better, both the romance aspect and I might put it on a low 4 the more I think about it.
I think part of the reason I enjoyed it is because I went in expecting trash.
Oh, okay.
Like, I thought this was just going to be, like, hard to sit through.
Uh-huh.
And it very surprisingly wasn't. Like, I genuinely enjoyed the film.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, like, even though, like, I typically don't enjoy, like, corny humor like this.
Also, just the old Hollywood type of dialogue.
Yeah,
Mark has a big problem with it usually.
Like, I have a hard time digesting it. Like, Hitchcock for me is like very hard to sit through because of that. I can't get absorbed in it. But this sort of it's funny that you said you got exhausted with the other experiences, because I think that was exactly why I was so engrossed.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, because like the comedy is. Like it's old fashioned. I mean, it's from the 30s, but it's so quick and very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually you're not gonna believe this.
What?
One of the reasons I'm giving this a low rating is because it's too dumb.
You think?
The other two I've seen are way smarter.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that's so
like
interesting.
it's like it's cheesy and it's dumb in the sense of like it's very slapstick.
Yeah.
But like the humor, it's not. I guess in my mind, my contemporary idea of dumb is like relying on like crude humor,
Right.
which is not what this period does.
Uh-huh.
Or at least if it does, like, it's, I don't know about it. Then again, I don't know much
I don't
about...
think so. I mean, I don't think back then crude humor was really a thing.
Yeah.
After the code existed.
Right.
But then, like, it did not feel that lazy.
No.
Yeah, like, one of the problems is definitely the lazy humor.
Like,
And this didn't...
Like, I would totally buy if this were, like, a play.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if this were a staged production, it would be a smash hit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of interesting to see that because since this is a film that's made in the 30s, this is very much coming out of that tradition. So
Yeah.
that very much makes sense.
Yeah, and the set piece, the way that, you know, the cinematography isn't like the most mind-blowing thing, but it does look like a play.
Yeah.
Every setting is very clear. Like, usually most of the characters are together in one frame with the occasional, like, oh, we're gonna get the reverse shot thing. But it does, yeah, because it's so dialogue driven.
Uh-huh.
And it's so much about the action. And it's not all, like, there is slapstick, but the slapstick doesn't look that realistic. So on a stage, it will work perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
It would translate perfectly. But that's the charm of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it does not look that realistic. Yeah. Should we go into... is there anything else you want to say?
What should we even say for recommendations?
I have recommendations. Okay, go for Arsenic and Old Lace. Because if you like... One of the things I thought that the characters were quirky, like in traditional screwball comedy, at least what I've seen. But the characters in Arsenic and Old Lace are way more memorable. Every single one of them. They really, really take... Like, for example, there's a kid in this movie. I won't say... He has a certain quirk, but there was a big chunk of the movie where his quirk just never showed up. And then sometimes it felt like... You know, I mean, you can argue that, yeah, he's there to deliver the one-liners when it's convenient and when it's most appropriate. But I feel like if the characters aren't going to be the most three-dimensional characters, I felt like the interaction could have been even more seamless. And I think I've been spoiled by Arsenic and Old Lace, which I would highly recommend. I wouldn't mind rewatching it with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
When was it made?
I think like 2 years after this. It's by the same director as It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I've seen that movie. Is that a screwball comedy?
Arsenic and Old Lace?
No.
No. Oh, It's a Wonderful Life is not a screwball comedy. Although I haven't seen.
I mean, it is a comedy.
Shameless. Yeah.
It is a comedy. I guess screwball comedy is specifically fast-paced humor.
It's fast-paced,
like,
loud dialogue.
Okay.
And this type of humor is... I mean, you can argue that... Because my second recommendation is not a screwball comedy, but there are so many similarities with this. And that's It Happened One Night, which came out in 1939. I think it's one of the first films to win like the big 5 awards in the Academy Awards. And it's a rom-com. It's basically the rom-com that molded all the rom-coms. And if we're talking about the romance aspect, I think It Happened One Night is like this film. I shouldn't go too deep into it, but basically It Happened One Night integrates the situations they get into with the blossoming romance better. And you know, of course, you know from the start of this movie, this one, that it's going to end up with some, you know, romance, and they're either going to get together or it's not going to work out, but there's going to be a scene, or you know, where the romance really kicks in. But It Happened One Night, it felt like something that's more gradual, and you can feel the chemistry growing, and they have chemistry from the start. With this one, it works, but we have to go into spoilers about why it works. But I think, go for It Happened One Night if you like this. I think I'll still do a high 3.5 because I do see more potential in the script because of the stuff I've seen.
Okay. I guess my rating is purely based on my enjoyment of the film. So for that reason, I think I might give it 4.
Hey,
yeah,
that's great. I did not expect that.
Yeah, me neither.
I know, because Mark laughed all the way through it, but I was so ready for him to be like, you know, it's 3 stars. It's dumb. Because that's.
I mean, this is dumb. Like, it also has like a lot of pet peeves of mine. Like,
right.
Like with like.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah, like with the like making fun of people who are crazy or different, or expecting us to laugh at that.
Mark, get ready. It only gets worse.
Really?
With the other ones.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, and also with like the woman character being the stereotypical, floaty, but like, well, you did spoilers about some ways which went against that, but
yeah,
I don't know. I still like really enjoyed it though.
I mean, in terms of female characters, I thought that the love interest in this one was actually pretty strong compared to some of the other ones.
Yeah, I agree.
His Girl Friday has the strongest female character like I've ever seen in anything. But even that, by the end, something happens. But like, there's always something. Even in these really good screwball comedies, and this is not really applied to this movie, but like, an experience I always have is that, like the writing is super pristine, like it's really fresh and really, really clever. But then there's always this one character where one of the tropes just get to me, and that prevents me from giving it like a really. It's not in this film.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But for example, in one of the two films I've seen, I'm like, whoa, this woman character is. I don't like the way they treated her.
Yeah.
And then. Yeah.
I guess one of the things that makes it easier is like, especially in this time, I feel like you recognize that it's a film, right? Like you're not like nowadays. It's a lot about do I believe this character's intentions? And do I believe do I believe that their actions make sense for their character? But that's not really what's going on. This isn't like realist, like, this is a character who's making choices that like really matter.
Right.
This is a character that's a stereotype, and you recognize that as a stereotype. And like if this was on a stage, that's much easier to get across because like if they're literally right there in front of you acting, it's overly apparent just because of how it's set up that like this is like a character and a stereotype is much like more successful in that environment.
That's so interesting that you think the stereotype is actually like it sort of works in the film's favor.
Yeah, which is weird because I would never expect to say that.
Yeah, I can't, because of the other films I've seen again. I don't, because the other films they managed to go past it for the majority of it.
Interesting.
Yeah, we were like, okay, I've never seen anything like this. And maybe I'm spoiled because of those two. Huh. Yeah, because I think Arsenic and Old Lace has like a 3.9 and His Girl Friday has a 4.1. Huh. And I was like, okay, if these two films make me fatigue, what's this film gonna, is it just gonna be sloppy? And it wasn't sloppy.
It was not sloppy.
And there were moments where I was so sure that I'm gonna, like a scene begins, I'm like, oh no, it's gonna get so bad and so corny, and then it redeems itself. Yeah. But so Arsenic and Old Lace, maybe His Girl Friday, and It Happened One Night for sure. Okay.
I'm trying to think if I've seen any old films that... I just haven't seen many old films that really stick out to me. I mean, I guess It's a Wonderful Life, but it's nice. But, I don't know. I mean, that's... that's the extent of my film knowledge. Yeah, this also, like, is such, like, reminds me of, like, my grandmother's generation and, like, the kinds of movies that she would watch. So it's really interesting, like, knowing her and knowing, like, what she likes in film. And then seeing that here and, like, which is also interesting.
That's cool. Yeah. So there is a sort of nostalgic factor.
Oh, yeah.
That, okay. Yeah, for me, I don't think my parents... They would occasionally show like a Bruce Lee movie to us. So this is the moment I started watching these old films. It's very fresh and strange and new to me. So it's interesting.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
never
used
had
to
nostalgia.
like something my grandmother would do later in life is watch stuff like Singing in the Rain and not Singing in the Rain. Stuff like
third favorite movie of all time, by the way.
That's I say Singing in the Rain because like it's, he loves that film so much. What is it? The White Christmas and
It's a Wonderful. Is it? Well, you have Sound of Music, but
Sound of Music.
That's a little later on.
That's a little later, yeah. But there's another one I'm trying to think of too. Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
We need to watch The Wizard of Oz.
I've seen The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, you have seen The Wizard of Oz.
Of course, I've seen The Wizard of Oz.
Wait, I thought.
I've not seen White Christmas. I've not seen It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay, we don't need to see It's White Christmas.
Okay. I wouldn't mind rewatch. I would love to revisit it.
I would too.
Whoa,
Because I've not
weird.
seen it in a long time. Like,
Whoa,
the last time I
yeah.
saw it, I must have been in, like, maybe early high school or
Really?
middle
Oh
school.
man, last time I saw it was like 4th grade, and I was still scared by the flying monkeys.
Man.
It was at an age where that it still traumatized me.
Wow.
Yeah. Also, the main actor here, he plays the Tin Man in
Oh.
Wizard of Oz.
Oh.
And it's cool to see
Okay.
him like he had some facial expressions that were gold.
I
He
love,
had-
yeah, I
he had a
really liked
lot
his
of-
performance.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not have expected you to think that such a, exaggerated performance would be so highly regarded by you.
Me neither.
We need to watch. Now I'm interested in watching more old films with
Yeah,
you.
I mean-
I could dish out a ton of recommendations.
I guess maybe I've just had bad experiences with old films in general, and I just don't buy into them,
Mm.
and I don't enjoy them. But with something like this, it's so quick. You barely have time to think.
Right, and I think
Yeah.
it acknowledges that it's unrealistic.
Yeah.
While a film maybe like Rear Window by Hitchcock, which Mark thought was okay.
Yeah, that I can't get into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there is a self-seriousness about it, but then the premise is also so outlandish.
Mhm.
Maybe that's it. Or did the dialogue actually bother you? Because you just Singing in the Rain kind of bothered you too. But I thought the humor in that one was so fast with all the microphone shit and there's a lot of meta, film transition stuff. Maybe throughout the summer Mark is suddenly gonna like old cinema more.
Maybe.
I hope. I want to show you The Apartment. Because I think it is a very serious film. It has all the mannerisms, but I think the writing is so good. I want to see what you think of it.
Okay. Oh, I just saw another film.
Yeah?
12 Angry Men.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
It's so good!
That's an incredible film.
Oh
That's
my
a classic.
God.
If you haven't seen that movie, I mean, watch it right now. It's great.
Yeah. It's that's adapted from a stage
Yes.
play though.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes.
But the way,
Yeah.
but just the way it's adapted into film, I think
Yeah, it's
it
wonderful.
really
Wonderful.
works.
Yeah. Yeah.
And-
When was that film made?
57.
That's a little later.
20
than this.
years after.
20 years
I
later.
can't believe this is 37. That blows my mind. Because 31 was when Chaplin City Lights came out.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then M, remember? That came out in 31.
M, I had a hard time.
Oh,
with.
M is so good. Fritz
M, I
Lang,
had a hard time
German new wave
Yeah.
expression.
It's. Oh. Yeah, that's an example of of a film like I appreciate what it's going for, but I can't get into it. Like it's. I don't exactly know why. I don't know if it's a style thing or if it's a.
Yeah,
I
it was
honestly don't know.
interesting.
Yeah.
And you said you didn't like Casablanca.
No.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah. Maybe I just need to see it again. I don't know.
Sometime. I don't know. I mean, I'm always down to rewatch Casablanca, but that's up to you. Anyway, we
Okay.
should pick the next movie now
Yeah. You sure?
before spoilers.
Then we're gonna be thinking about that while we're thinking about the film. I don't know if we should. Do
No,
that.
no, we're not. We're not gonna be thinking about that. Really? Isn't this what we decided on?
Well, once we pick it, then we're gonna want to look it up.
No, we're not gonna look it up right now. No,
Well,
no, no.
it's just I feel like we should pick it and then be able to look it up, right?
To see if it's available.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, not on camera, but
I don't know. I think
I feel like that's what I'm gonna want to do once we.
really. No,
once
no, no.
see
We
it.
should pick it. Have that. Like, oh, this is what we're watching next, and then just have that excitement just kind of bubbling.
Or maybe we should just focus on the film. I don't know.
Oh man, we should. Okay.
I don't know. I just really want to talk about the film.
Okay,
and not,
fine,
and not have to
okay.
think
Okay,
about
fine.
this because if we introduce this, it might dilute the conversation.
Okay. Would you agree in
Yeah.
putting a time code to where we draw the next
Yes,
film?
yes.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That much post production isn't.
Okay.
is
That's
okay.
that's not hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Since this is like a series and we're not doing this for every video. Yeah.
Let's go into spoilers.
Yeah, okay,
Not
spoilers.
it's-
Okay. So this film has my fetish.
Wunderkinds.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, don't say fetish. Don't say fetish. That's misleading.
No, fetish is the wrong word, but I say fetish because any film that has a wunderkind
It's
is
the opposite of-
automatically
yeah.
like really good regardless of like its
Oh
misgivings.
my gosh, yeah, that's so.
Because for
so
some reason,
weird.
I just think that's such an interesting narrative device, even though it's like,
Even when it's
dumb
done
as
like
shit.
yeah. I mean, the humor with the son was really good with young Pemberton. Yeah, I liked. There was a joke at the beginning that I was like, yeah, like I thought all the stuff on the train was really, really solid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Eggs Benedict doesn't look like that nowadays, but somehow that joke really worked. Yeah, the way the film began, I was like, this is a classic screwball comedy setup. Like, we're gonna be introduced to a ton of weird characters. And I think maybe that set my expectation a little high.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, these characters must be, like, absolutely crazy. Like I told you, when I saw the two old ladies, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. And it was good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't...
Yeah, they could have taken it farther, I see.
Yeah, it wasn't arsenic and old lace.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that we're like really talking about it, I can see what you mean by they could have taken it farther.
Yeah.
Yeah, and part of the issue is like there's so many characters, right? Like how many characters are in Arsenic and Lace?
About equally as many.
Oh, really?
Get ready.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
And is it about the same
It is
time?
longer. It's
Okay.
like, I think, an hour and 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this film's very short.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
it feels longer because
I can see why.
Like this film.
Oh, this film feels longer.
Yeah. No. Like this film, I think it feels its runtime. It doesn't feel like a quick. It's not as long as Daisy's.
This felt like a 90-minute film.
Exactly.
When it's actually more like.
An hour and 18.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that's only 10 minutes.
So Arsenic and Old Lace feels like a 2-hour film, even though it's an hour and 40.
Okay.
Just because of how much it packs in there, but.
Yeah.
Man.
I guess I just appreciate the denseness.
Yeah.
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 Because that's not easy to do.
It's not dense enough.
As a writer.
it's yeah.
I guess because I write too. I appreciate just how difficult that can be. But
I think the denseness, like the film is as dense as it should be. I think it's good. But I do think for me, there were some moments that felt too easy. Like the first time, the main character, I forgot his name, McCrory. The lawyer went to meet the family. Like they didn't get along very well, and then all of a sudden, through a simple, just like the daughter or the love interest being in on it. They were able to make most of the family sign the paper with ease. And that's the thing where I'm like, whoa, like they could have taken that further. They could have had a bit more struggle. And instead, it was so
you mean
breezy.
near the end of the film?
No, just the whole process of like, okay, we're just gonna go here and then get a signature. And then they don't even need to talk that much. It's just like, oh yeah, okay, I'll give you my signature. And I'll give you a paintbrush. Like there were funny scenes, but like the expectation was that the first time you see the family, they were so hesitant that like for them to suddenly just sign the paper, I'm like, okay, that could be a little more well earned. There could be a bit more conflict. There could be a bit more screaming. There could be a bit more. I mean, you can argue that the film is not about that. What the film is about, though, is the other love interest, Roger, or no, Howard. Howard Roger.
Yeah.
I think because this was made, I think right after the Great Depression. That whole oil-obsessed thing is still there with Andrew Carnegie. And also the other Carnegie, Dale Carnegie. I'm sure the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, which was one of the most seminal books in self-development in the 30s, when that was written. So this film mocks kind of both the Carnegies, the oil man Carnegie and the self-help craze Carnegie. That's a very good book. But I think the way they satirize it here is very, very on point.
Huh.
Like the handshake with I like the random cameo of the dude who's like, yeah, I'm an honors member of your course. I really like that. That was pretty funny. I like the Uncle Goliath. For some reason, that worked.
In any other film, that would piss me off.
Yeah.
But here it was just funny.
Yeah. That's one thing
it was just so over the top and dumb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that one, the over the top nature of it really, really worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could talk about
how he gets shot at the end.
Right.
What?
And they end the
What?
movie there.
And they
end the
just
movie with
end it,
him
like-
getting shot.
Like, they play it off as a joke. Like, what? It's like the end of, like an opera. What is that opera with, like, have you heard of this? Like, with the fool that is always tricked? And they end the opera singing about, oh, isn't life grand and it's so silly.
Is it Rigoletto?
No, it starts with an F.
Sounds like a Wagner.
I want to say Faust, but it's
no,
no,
it's not
duh,
Faust.
no. I might think of it later.
Farendel's a Bizet piece. What am I doing? Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Yeah. It's almost like saying, no, that he's not really a member of the family. We just kill him off for comedic relief.
Well, I mean,
Not really
because
comedic
it's the mother
purposes.
that's saying it, like, regardless of what the issue is, she's always like, oh, blah, 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 so
That mother is Angela Lansbury times 10, and I never thought I would say that. You know, Mrs. Teapot and, like, Mrs. Lovett from the Broadway production of Sweeney Todd. Like, oh, Sweeney.
Mrs. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess, like, the American version.
Yeah, but I didn't know you could even Angela Lansbury it even more than Angela Lansbury's. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Were there any other gags that stood out? There was, oh my gosh. Okay, there were two musical gags that caught me totally off guard. The first one was Mr. Wunderkind pounding the silverware.
A lot of the
dishes.
humor just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's just like whacks you in the face with this absurdity. It's
Mhm.
it like most of the time it works.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other one was the weird security cop dude who
He
sings
starts singing the car horn.
yeah, different car horns that he's been impressed by. So, oh, you think yours? Let me press your car horn. Oh, I've heard better. Let me sing it for you.
It's odd because, like, normally I would consider it a weakness if something in the film could be removed from it and it still wouldn't work.
Mm.
But, like, that was totally extra. And, like, well, okay, because of how that word is used, that comes across weird. But, like, it was totally superfluous. That's the word.
Oh, wow. You did it.
And, like, that didn't need to be there at all.
Right.
Like, it had nothing to do with anything.
Right.
But they insert it because of the absurdity of the comedy.
And it's so absurd because you know that silverware doesn't sound like that when they clank on dishes, but somehow it works. And I've seen like modern sitcoms. Like I once saw New Girl. There's an episode where like someone gets really good at handbells, and it's clear he's not really playing the handbells. And I don't, you know, I mean that's an actual instrument, so that's a little more complicated. But but somehow it works here, where he's just clanging on the silverware, and it's like a tune.
And of course, like he knocks over the flowers.
Yeah.
And he's just being a dick kid.
Yeah.
And at the time, like, it doesn't... He's just like, what? But now I get it. Oh, he's just being a dick kid. And the point is to show that he's being a dick kid.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought of all the characters, I understand your fetish, Mark. For this
You
case.
understand my fetish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, we won't get into that.
Whoa. Yeah, but one
No,
character...
I was going to bring up another film where there's a Wunderkind where we initially had this conversation.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we don't need to
That's a film.
That's a film. We don't need to go there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, like, I actually compared to another character, the kid seems like a very well-written one, and that's, the father. He has so many weird things, like, he would always he has, like, a giant teddy bear at the beginning.
That his character is a little bit less developed.
Exactly.
Like maybe even the least
least,
except maybe like some of the servants.
That's what I'm talking about when there's like potential. Oh, you know who's the least developed character? The cook in the mop room. We never see him.
Cook in the
They're
mop
just a gag. See, like jokes like that. They're borderline offensive. Yeah, like I can totally see if they do a reveal, he's like some African American cook.
Right.
And I feel like I would still laugh at it. I don't know if that's just me being politically incorrect, but I think there's something about, like, they're not trying to be insensitive. It's just how it was at the time. And maybe it's because of that we can get along with certain things more.
I mean, I know I have an easier time knowing this was made in the 30s.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. That's kind of all I have to say about that.
Right.
Speaking of like the time and like things that wouldn't fly as well today, the woman character in this, the love interest.
Mm-hmm.
Total ditz, but also very smart at
Yeah.
times. Like she totally like set up for her fiance to be beat up on the street. Like I was impressed by that.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't like masterminding anything, but like she used her power in this time period to like very cunningly get her way out of a very sticky situation.
That's so cool that you can see that, because
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people might just, totally disregard like what's good about her character in this movie. Because I think, speaking of fetishes, I think her type of ditzy character is definitely something that people like to see in a female love interest sort of character.
At this time, I'm sure it was a
Yeah.
marketing point.
Yeah, I think It Happened One Night definitely had some of that too, but she's also a very good character, which is what makes His Girl Friday so interesting, because that one all centers around this woman played by Rosalind Russell, who is just the most badass woman I've ever seen on screen.
We need to see this film.
The His Girl Friday.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like that.
You don't like it?
But
Maybe I'll watch it myself.
No, we should watch it, because the reason I don't like it is very specific.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. But I can't talk. Let's not even talk about that.
Yeah.
I'd be down to watch His Girl Friday again. That was my first one, so now I've seen 2 other ones. I feel like I could go back into that with more appreciation. Yeah. Okay. I think we should talk about that musical number and the whole. See, that's what I'm talking about. The scene starts off with like, that is the scene they're going to profess their love or even go further. Well, they're not going to go further. You were like, during the movie, Mark was like, nah, they're not married yet. They can't sleep together. And, he's right, because the way, these films, even though they break certain boundaries, there are other things they can't touch, like marriage. Like they have, the celibacy, they have to respect that. And that's very much a sign of the times.
Well, in that time, if they did sleep together, they would lose their likability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you've seen It Happen One Night, that film deals with that very, very cleverly. Yeah. That's a film I'd like to get your opinion on. Because that's like I think, like when Harry Met Sally, there are a few rom-coms that really, really cemented the genre. Mm-hmm. And I think It Happened One Night influenced the rom-coms in the decades to come. Up to maybe even the 60s or 70s.
Okay, interesting.
And then when Harry Met Sally very much cemented all the modern day rom-coms, even up until today. Yeah, but enough about It Happens in One Night. See, like, I've kind of felt chemistry. Like, I'm like, okay, they're kind of cute together. Like, I see how this is going. But, like, in the scene in the barn, they're just going to jump, they just kind of go at it. And I was not a fan of it at first. But then the musical number came. And I really liked it because
it was sort of like a meta moment, because like we heard the song and the words in the intro.
Yeah.
We've heard the theme being played numerous times now, and then they sing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like they're singing about the dangers of love at work, even though they're
like, this doesn't work. They're in a barn.
Yeah. No. Well, even though they're at that point, they're not sure of their feelings for each other, and it's like they're bliss.
Well, more of that they're not. I know what you mean. That's not quite the way to put it, though.
That's not the way to put it.
Yeah.
It's like they're singing about danger, love at work, but they're not aware that there's love at work.
Well, they are aware.
They're aware.
I think this is when they're coming up. They're realizing that they can love each other, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, like, the woman is, like, because of the setup, I mean, and also just because her character's a little less deep.
Yeah.
That like, it's apparent that she's basically there to be the love interest.
Uh-huh.
Although I did have a issue that, like, the way they meet is with him, like, nearly spanking the kid, and then her being like, "What are you doing, you horrible person?" And then basically what sets off her, actually what motivates all of her, like, wanting to be with this guy is what the kid tells her about the guy.
Right.
You realize? Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, for the screwball, like, setup, that's perfect, I think. But, like, it's...
I thought that was
a little weird.
Really? I actually thought it was a kind of a surprising, slightly heartfelt moment. Heartwarming moment where, like, the kid sees the most clearly because he's one of the first people to actually meet
Oh,
him.
well, in the end, it makes more
you're not
sense.
talking about the end.
Yeah, the end, it makes more sense because, like, he's been around, and the kid is, like, smart enough to realize, like, what's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
But in the beginning, he just says, like, oh, yeah, he's nice because he has wavy hair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And people with wavy hair and blue eyes are always nice people. And she goes, oh, you're right. And then she falls in love with him.
Oh, is that how it is?
Yeah. Oh, that's not how it came across.
Huh.
Yeah. Because you realize, like, once he comes in, like, I was expecting her to be, like, kind of pissed at him.
Yeah.
But she wasn't. And I realized, oh, it's because the kid said he was a nice person.
Uh-huh. You know how I interpreted that?
Huh.
I thought from beginning to maybe just before the end that she was, like, full of red flags.
Oh,
just
really?
like, no, you can't. Because it's clear that she's had many fiancés. And I thought that her falling for him was just because he's another dude.
Oh, you know, that does make sense.
Yeah.
But it's still the same thing, though, where, like, oh, she falls in love with him because of a really just sort of superficial reason.
That's true. And I think that's another thing. Like, with many of these, I guess you can call these rom-coms, these comedies with romance being something that's very lighthearted, there are sometimes things where, like, okay, but how long are they going to last together?
You know, I don't know how you would classify rom-com in this time period, but compared to, like, the classical structure of a rom-com, it doesn't follow that at all.
No, it doesn't.
Well, actually, wait, maybe it does. I'm wrong, it does.
Oh, yeah.
Because rom-com is they meet, good things happen, then they go sour, and then they make up.
Yeah.
That happens.
That's exactly what it is.
That happens here. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Yeah.
And the moment they go sours were usually right after some sort of climax.
Mm-hmm.
And then when here it's the musical number.
Well, the thing is, we're at its lowest point. That's when things are most sour, and then the making up is the resolution.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's how it is.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I enjoyed it.
I'm glad I watched it.
Me too. I'm very interested now in, like, what else we get.
I guess it's time.
Time.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. So.
You should. You pick. I guess.
Yeah,
I guess
okay.
the premise.
Okay. Oh my gosh, the responsibility.
Watch it be another, like, oil. I don't know. With the film being this surprising, I'm kind of confident in this deck now.
Yeah. Like. I mean, if we get a dud, who cares? Okay. Here it is. Okay, Jamaica Run.
I've heard of this.
Really?
That's the movie with the trans people, right? No, something about leopard. There's it's like some sort of vaudeville, some sort of lower class burlesque thing. No, I'm getting it mixed up with something. Oh man, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I just can clearly see a poster with some sort of burlesque entertainer wearing, like, a leopard print. Wearing, like, a leopard print suit.
That sounds something like Showgirls or something.
It's not Showgirls. Whoa, you know Showgirls?
No. I just know that image.
We should
really
watch
well.
Showgirls.
Really?
It's considered one of the worst so bad it's good movies of all time.
Really?
Yeah, you don't know about the notorious status of Showgirls?
I know nothing about Showgirls. I just know the poster for some reason.
It's the epitome of someone trying to make a film that he thinks is sexy, but comes out completely unsexy.
So what is Jamaica Run about?
Like, we have to say what it's about instead of just, okay, go past just the poster.
Yeah, you have to give a detailed description. Like you're playing Balderdash.
Okay, so Jamaica. Oh gosh, here we go. A sexually free young man travels from Jamaica to the States and gets into cross-dressing and becomes an entertainer, and you see the ups and downs of the early stages of his career.
Okay, I have no idea this is about cross-dressing, but this is what it says.
Okay.
A sunken ship holds the key to the true ownership of a Jamaican estate.
That is nothing like what I thought.
Okay, yeah, so it's probably not what you were thinking of then.
No.
Jamaica Run.
You know,
there it is.
Even though the reveal wasn't that,
I mean,
that enticing.
I was of taste with that film too.
Right.
Like the description is just boring as hell.
Yeah.
But like,
I'm ready. I'm ready for some Jamaica Run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamaica Run. A sunken ship holds the key to the true ownership of a Jamaican state.
Okay. Well, that's it. Because I know I've heard of this, so I think we'll be able to find a copy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay then. Bye. Thanks for watching.